Greetings and various assorted salutations. This is a little tour of the two projects that we have in our Westward expansion unit for spring 2021. Um, we have two projects that have the project designation for the assignment category. We have one called the Move West poster, and then the other one is called Project Lakota History. The first one that will be due is the Move West poster, and then the Lakota history one, which is a bit more complicated, is due at the end of the unit. So there's kind of their bookends, if you want to think of it that way. First, let's look at the Move West poster. I'll be talking about this in class, I believe on Tuesday, February 2nd, for this version of it. Basically, the Move West poster, you're using some resources to create a poster that is going to encourage people to move west. It's kind of a promotional or propaganda poster, if you want to think of it that way. I'm trying to get people to pick up everything and go west and make that journey. There's a resource here, the Homestead Act document, and what this is it goes into what is the Homestead Act. One of the main reasons people came west, one of the big reasons. You can use this poster file provided here, or you can use some other thing. I'm not too picky about the file format you use, as long as it's relatively common, like a PGN, JPEG, a slide, a PowerPoint, or a PDF would work as well. What I'm really more interested in is fulfilling the requirements of the rubric. This is probably the first time you've seen this in this class, but we use a rubric sometimes to grade your assignments. This is a checklist that I'm going to use to figure out your grade with. Do you have pictures, at least two, and is your poster kind of capturing that inspirational move west feel? And is it evidence that you did some research to do it, some accurate research? But that's the idea behind this. And so this is what I will be using for the grading process. So that's the basics of this project. It's not overly complicated, but it covers a lot of important material in our early unit. The second project here, Lakota History, is a bit more involved. So jumping over to the project Lakota History PowerPoint, do note you may use Google Slides or PowerPoint. These two programs are interchangeable. Use the one you're most comfortable with. But what you will be doing is you'll be conducting some research over some topic of Lakota history, and putting together a little presentation on it and citing your sources. We're going to keep the requirements for the project simple because this is one of the earliest projects in the semester, but you have plenty of time to work on it. You have pretty much the entire unit. This list may vary. The list that you have in the assignment will be the actual list that you should be using, but this is just a sample version. But you choose your topic on the approved item list, and then you use this rubric, which is a bit more complicated than the previous one, to fulfill the assignment. The rubric may vary from course to course, but basically you will need a certain number of slides with content. You will need a certain amount of images, because the goal is to make a presentation that is presentable. And you will need to cite your sources. We're going to keep this source citation simple. So at the end of the slideshow, the last slide, it's not included in your total slide count. Put in the website URLs where you got your sources. We'll get more complicated with source citation later, but for now, the goal is to do some research. You will also be graded on content and whether or not the PowerPoint is kind of presentable. It looks good. So use this rubric as a checklist to go through this. My recommendation for handling this project, because as you may notice, it's due a bit later in the unit, is During some downtime, particularly that happens at the earlier portion of this unit, select which topic you're going to do, maybe set up the file and put down some basic information, and then start doing research and assembling it bit by bit. Um, that way you have a foundation for this. But in any case, if you do have questions about this assignment, please ask me in class, or you can send me a message via Canvas inbox or my school email for this assignment. In any case, I do hope this helps, and until later.